Hello, and welcome to the Pulse of Jonesboro. I'm Jeremy Terrell, and I am your host. It's the last one of 2025. So, last episode of a podcast that I do believe is because of you guys, has become incredibly successful. We are in the top 20% of podcasts. Not 100% sure what that means, other than that's what Spotify sent me. And I think that means that we are doing great. We also have a great following. We had, I'll show it to you, those that are watching, but we had over 30,000 views this month and counting. We'll probably hit 33,000 before the end of the year, maybe even 35, which would be unbelievable. But we've had some ups and downs. We've had some great months, and we'd had some lows, and that's just learning, like vacation times and holiday times and things that are going on. But the truth is that you guys keep coming back and back and back and bringing people. So that's fantastic, and I truly appreciate it. So next year is going to be fantastic. As the year goes on, we're going to continue to grow, do more things. You'll see the Pulse of Jonesboro around doing other things. Plus, we will be doing some debates, hopefully, and we will be doing way more interviews, things like that. That's because we're going to have better cameras. We're going to have some a studio kind of thing, and just getting better and better. And that, again, is because of you guys and your commitment to wanting your voice heard and doing what's best for Jonesboro and Craighead. And I truly appreciate you guys. Couldn't do this without you. Wouldn't do this without you. I'd be talking to myself, which would really be sad. So I'm glad there's an audience out there. I'm glad that you're listening. We are making a difference, and just ask that you continue to support, share. We will be doing some monthly things in 2026 where you can get involved and help support. We'll be bringing a lot more content, a lot more information, and we'll never be like a news network or any of that stuff. We'll constantly be bringing you the nuts and bolts of issues, and then we'll dive into some more stuff. I really can't wait to do some local, talking about some local companies and what they've done to get to where they're at and all that good stuff. It'll be fantastic. So what I want to do is kind of, I guess, recap 2025. We started off with the bang. And Spotify said we were an instant hit. So we started early this year and just started talking about some issues. And the reason why we started that is there was a mayor race, obviously, that I was a part of in 2024. There was 4 candidates. And a lot of promises made, a lot of talking. Some about the issues, but really not a lot about issues. And anyways, the current mayor won re-election, and made some promises to me and to you, and those were being broke right off the bat. And so I kind of wanted to start this podcast based upon some of that stuff, and then some of the stuff that I've been seeing going on around our town that was what I believe to be not on the up and up. So start talking about it. And, the great thing about Jonesboro is I never ran out of things to talk about. There was always something to come on here and talk about. And there continues to be. And we will continue to basically talk about the real issues, the nuts and bolts. And people get upset when I come on here and talk about them. And I'll say their names a couple of times. People within our community that are help running the community. Some are elected officials, some are not. And the truth of the matter is it's nothing against the individual, and people keep saying that. I had something in the comments not too long ago that, man, you must really hate the mayor. I don't know the mayor. I don't personally know him. I know who he is. We've had some conversations, but I don't know his inner workings. I don't know him. So, I don't dislike him at all. I do think he's probably a good guy, in his inner circle. I think he has some friends and they think he's a good guy. I think his wife thinks he's a great guy and a husband, and kids think he's probably a good dad. I have no idea. I'm just assuming by what I see or hear or whatever. But and that's not why I get on the mayor. I get on the mayor because I don't believe he's doing what he should be doing to push Jonesboro in the right direction. That's it. I call out other people, and people want to, and they take it personal, and it's not personal. It's never. I mean, I guess I may come on here one day and talk about something that's personal, but as of right now, this is just about moving Jonesboro in the right direction. That's it. That's solely it. That's all it's for. And we have some people that are in the way. We have some people that have been running Jonesboro in different ways, and I think it's just time for them to move on. I think it's time to get some fresh blood in. I talk about the chamber a lot. I talk about the city a lot. Talk about the Parks Department, which I was correct on. I'm pretty much correct on all of it. And I keep telling people, if they think I'm not correct, just come on here and, we can debate it live if they even want to. But I don't get any of that response. So they to me, that means they know I'm right and they don't want to talk about it. So, which is fine. If they don't want to come talk about it, then don't say that I wasn't right either. But I think that we need to change the direction of Jonesboro in a lot of ways, and that's why I talk about these things. I believe that we have some great people. We have great companies. We have great, the skies are the limits that what Jonesboro can do and become. But we have to have the right people in the spots, and we don't. And we've kind of had this, I would say the next regime, we've had this regime now for a while, and it's just not producing. We could be so much further along. We could be way, way, way better than what we're doing and where we're going. I actually believe in some areas we're going backwards, and we can talk about those in 2026 so that we don't go backwards. But I do believe we're going backwards in a lot of ways. I talked about the mayor wanting to go to 100 people. I think that's crazy. We need to stop. We talked about the Parks Department and that their inability to produce for the city in ways that some other cities are doing it, and we see that through no soccer tournaments or baseball tournaments, or just we should be having baseball tournaments, soccer tournaments, all kinds of stuff every weekend that we possibly can, that's open, and we don't. We found out that, I believe, and we'll see down the road, but I believe it's because the Parks Department chair was taking money. So and we allowed it, and we talked about that probably for 8 months out of this year, and the mayor did nothing. So there's going to be some accountability demanded on that when it all said and done, after a federal investigation into what was going on within the Parks Department. We have great, wonderful parks people. Craighead is a wonderful place to be. They should get way more support than what they have. They should literally have at their disposal all the equipment and all the things that would make that place an absolute wonderland for everybody that comes. It is one of the, outside of work and things like that in school, it is probably the biggest draw into Jonesboro, as far as people that are, it's constantly full. People are constantly there. There's always somebody walking, running, using, playing disc golf, playing basketball, using parts of the park, at the parks, the playgrounds. It's constantly being used, and yet we're way underutilizing it, and we're not building the employees out there. We're not giving them the opportunity to make a career out of this. We should be doing more for them as well. We talked about the police department and what I believe is mismanagement there as well. We have declined as far as being the premier police department in Arkansas. We were that for years and years. We are no longer that. And it's not due to the people that are serving you and me. It's due to the leadership at the top. They got to do a better job. They've allowed a lot of things to go on, unchecked, and I believe it's a travesty. I believe it's a shame. We 100% should have called this out a long time ago, but nobody did, and here we are. So I believe the chief and the assistant are probably pretty close to retirement, and hopefully whoever replaces them, and I know who it should be in Jonesboro, but whoever replaces them has a little bit of work to do, and that's just to get us back to where we were, the training that we were used to, the guidance that was given, all of that stuff. I mean, we were top class, and the men and women of Jonesboro, of JPD, want to be that again. I mean, they want the training, they want the other stuff. They want to be known as the premier police department in Arkansas, and I think that we need to take better care of them. We're understaffed there. We don't fix that. I don't know why, but we don't fix it at all. We've been understaffed, I think, almost the entire year. Sometimes we're 12, 13 people short, and we can't have that anymore. They're not taken care of. They're not paid correctly. The representation is pretty sad, and that's got to stop. So we got to help them. We got to be better for them, and it starts at the top. So talked a lot about that. I'll continue to talk about that until that gets fixed. Some promises were made; they were never done. Things are said within the department that are travesties and sad, and it's just rough, just sad. And I believe the men and women that serve as Jonesboro Police Department, on the police department, deserve better. So we talked about roads. We could continue to talk about roads. Roads are atrocious and getting worse. And the mayor's now saying we don't have enough money to do roads. Well, that's part of your job. You just passed a budget and there wasn't anything cut. We're still building massive sidewalks. All that money should have went to roads if we don't have money to do roads. And I don't understand. I don't understand why we can't do roads or overlays and constantly. That is one of the number one and number two, number three. What it always in towns that decline, that is always number one, number two, or number three. Always across the United States. If the roads are declining, the city follows. And that's a telltale sign. And I don't know what to do. I mean, Mayor, it's time to go back and fix this problem, figure it out. take it to the people. I don't care. But at some point in time, number one, be transparent about it. How much do we have? How much have we done? All of that good stuff. How much did it cost? Why are we so low? We got to talk about it. Can't ignore it. It seems like that's what we're doing. It's bad. We talked about the jail. Jail, again, nobody's doing anything about the jail. Nobody's saying anything about the jail. Nobody's talking about the jail. Nothing. Just put it back on the back burner. They wanted a new jail. They wanted an expansion. There's all kinds of things that is needed, and nobody's talking about it. Not 100% sure why, but to me, it is one of the number one problems we have. It may be the number one problem we have, and that is because we have people that know that we can't put them in jail, and they're coming here and committing crimes all the time and getting a slap on the wrist because we have nowhere to put them. Our judges are up to their eyeballs in trying to figure out when somebody deserves to go to jail. What do we do? Because we're constantly full. We're over full, and nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's getting, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal, and we need to be talking about the problem now. And I don't know why we don't. I have no idea. It's so frustrating, but regardless, we gotta fix that problem. So one of the problems that gets ignored. We talked about the direction in which we're going. We talked about the sidewalks and the pathways, and the reason why they were getting done is I believe was, I know why they were getting pushed in the beginning, and the reason why they were getting pushed in the beginning is because some other areas are doing it, and it made a big difference. Then we started making these trailways, or whatever you want to call them, landing strips. That's what I call them. But we started doing these, and we did them wrong. 100% did them wrong. Did them in the wrong areas. We did them wrong, and nobody wants to admit it. And we keep allowing the mayor to keep continuing to do them wrong. And I don't know why. I don't know why people don't say something. Where they work throughout the United States is that they bring an economic value to the city. These runway strips that we have put in bring zero economic value. Zero. We could have put in just normal sidewalks. These things aren't being flooded. We don't, people aren't passing each other left and right. It's a silly, silly thing that we did. It's so silly and so wrong. It's just wrong. And we continue to spend taxpayers' money doing something that I have no idea why we're doing it. The majority of everything leads to downtown. I think downtown needs to succeed. I think it needs, I love what some of them are doing downtown. They've made an organization for downtown, and it brings some people in, and that's great. We need to do a better job of making sure that it's a safe place, and so forth and so on. We were so reluctant to. It was shut down part of this year because people can't make decisions and get and then they get pressured, and it's just silly. It's just so silly stuff. Just silly after silly after silly stuff, and nobody calls in to check on the truth about what is going on. And the truth is that we're just a posh bunch of crazy. It's so weird to me. We got buses that I've talked about, and the bus problems. Buses don't serve our businesses. They haven't for years and years and years. We don't have covers. We had to wait for some company. I mean, we literally were talking about this in August of last year, September of last year, and here we are a year and a couple months later, and we still haven't put up stuff for buses for safety. And that's because we're waiting on and spending $1 million for some company to come tell us what to do. We can't put up nobody can like get on the internet and look for bus stop covers in Jonesboro and order them and get them put up that meet code. No, we had to pay somebody $1 million to tell us what to do. It's constant. We're paying companies all the time to tell us what to do. Is that not why we hired and elected a mayor? Somebody that could use their brain and take us in the right direction. Nope, we got to constantly talk about hiring this company to tell us what to do. Hire this company to tell us about our roads. Hire this company to tell us about, our strategic planning. Oh, we don't like this strategic plan. Let's hire this company to tell us how to do it better. Let's hire a company out of, Florida to tell us the direction to go. I mean, it's constantly silly. We'll probably do it for you, but I want to know how much we spent in 2025 with companies just to tell us what to do. I would say it's probably 3-4 million, somewhere in there, 4 million. So we have 3 million, I think, budgeted for 2026 roads, and we probably spent 4 million on companies to tell us what to do. So put that into perspective. We talked about schools. Our schools are struggling. I would say the jury's still out on some of them if we're moving in the right direction. But we've been failing our kids massively. And if 2025 did not improve, you're going to hear me talking a ton about 2026, about our kids. The schools better be moving in the right direction. We talked a lot about schools. Parental involvement is horrible. If you got a kid in school, get involved in the schools. It's travesty. Kids raising themselves. No parental involvement. And it's bad. So 2025 was great when it comes to talking about issues and having enough issues to talk about. So in 2026, we're going to talk about the issues, and we're also going to talk about some awesome things. So we're going to help push Jonesboro in the right direction. We know people are listening. We know that, we did have a situation where you guys really fought and made an impact on where the police department should go. And, I'm so thankful for you guys that got involved in that. And we made a difference there. We didn't allow the city to overspend on property that they shouldn't have. I think it was $1.3 million difference that the chief just said, well, we're only talking about $1 million. Well, and again, it's like we can't do our roads, but man, we keep overspending for property. You guys were heard at the last city council meeting where they were wanting to buy, again, an overpriced piece of property, and they didn't do it. The pressure was there, and the city council did the right thing. So that's you guys. That's you guys getting involved. That's you guys listening. That's you guys, sending out emails. That's you guys, being represented, and that's fantastic. And we're going to do more of that. We're going to talk more about issues and drill down, and then we're going to take the pressure to city council to do the right thing. And we're going to help Jonesboro. You guys are going to help Jonesboro go in the right direction. 2026. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to do lots and lots and lots of different things, which means I'm going to be working more towards that kind of stuff. We really want the pulse of Jonesboro to be something that allows growth, good, positive growth. And the issues we'll still talk about the issues, but we have to give solutions. And if those that are in our government listen, they will. Maybe we can help them do the right thing. I mean, the pool, for instance. If that pool goes another season where you can't staff it, and anybody and everybody involved needs to be fired. Period. 100% fired. I don't care who it is, mayor, all the way down. Fired. Staff the doggone pool. The park rangers need to be part-time lifeguards. I don't care, whatever it takes. Staff the pool. West Memphis does it. Searcy does it. Conway does it. All these towns around us, Batesville, their pools are open all day long, and ours are open 4 or 5 hours a day, and a quarter of fullness because people can't get in because we can't staff it. So we're going to talk about how to fix that. I just did a little bit, but we're going to help, and it's going to be great. Can't wait. We are going to spotlight and companies that are in town, talk about them, talk about how they started. It's going to be really cool. That's going to be a whole nother segment into the Pulse of Jonesboro. We're going to talk about the cool stuff, the history of Jonesboro. It's going to be really great 2026. And we're going to see Jonesboro moving in the right direction. Maybe the leadership gets involved and starts doing the right thing. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But we're going to hold them accountable, and we're going to do some great things. Guys, I want to end just by telling you guys again how thankful I am for you guys that made the Pulse of Jonesboro a success. And I just encourage you to stay there, share. Let's get this may be a lofty goal, but on Facebook, I would like to have 10,000 followers. So 10,000 followers would be fantastic. We have the views. We just need people to follow. we have plenty and plenty of views. We just need people to follow, and that would be great. The YouTube, this is on YouTube. If you got people that's the way that they watch things, send them to it. So if those of you guys that didn't know, this goes on YouTube as well. And we would like to see that go up. Spotify numbers are great. Apple numbers are great. It's all great, and we're moving in the right direction, and we're just going to keep moving. I am so grateful to you guys that continue to show up each and every week, and I've got some unbelievable loyalty there, and I am forever grateful. So thank you very much. It is the time of season where we do find ourselves just with a bigger heart, and I encourage you guys to continue that big heart through 2026. So capture this time, this season, where our Savior was born, and the gratefulness we have for Him and what He did for us. And let's try to share that. Let's try to push that. We're gonna do some cool things in 2026. We were gonna do them in 2025. This growth, this evolution takes time, and we want to do it right. That's why there's a lot of things that we haven't done yet, but we are gonna do, and we're gonna do it right. So it's gonna be fun, but it's gonna take you guys. It's gonna take your heart. It's gonna take it's going to take you pushing and driving the process and staying involved and listen and, maybe send some emails, like we've done before, and some other things. And let's make 2026 a year to remember for Jonesboro. So, guys, have a great and wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas. Have a great and wonderful New Year's. People, be safe out there. That's the biggest thing. Just be safe. Enjoy your families in whatever form they come, and be good to one another. We've got, a week left, a little over a week left. Be good to one another. Be good out on the roads. Let's keep this season and end Jonesboro's last week on a high note, and enjoy one another. Any other, just be great. Be great this week, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. It was a great 2025. Look forward to 2026. God bless.